Well, thanks so much, North Carolina ArcGIS Users Group, for joining us today on our talk about driving digital transformation with enterprise integration. We're Safe Software, and we're glad to be able to present to you. My name is Dale Lutz, and I'm joined today by Jovita Chan, Sienna Emery, and Chris Berger, who are each going to walk us through an interesting set of demos and stories that show how our customers have been achieving amazing results through the combination of technologies that are enabling digital transformation. So what is digital transformation anyway? It means modernizing all the business processes so that an organization can operate more efficiently and deliver more value to its customers than it could using traditional techniques. And the pandemic has really driven home the value of this for organizations that have been embracing it. Executives say that the top benefits of digital transformation are numerous. Not only is operational efficiency a key thing, but getting applications and results to customers faster than before, very important. And lastly, the ability to actually meet customer expectations is enhanced as well. And that's what Forbes had to say. Now, what are some of the characteristics of these kinds of organizations? Well, they have processes that operate without a human being involved. So while workers are home sleeping or while they're doing other tasks, the data processing is going on and results are being delivered. They maintain a system of record that is trustworthy and truthful. Data validation, data quality is enhanced and practiced at every step. And that is so key because to make good decisions, good data is needed. And all the available data is used, even if it's hidden behind various other interfaces, to build the solutions that are desired. And lastly, automation plays a key role in making the data integration take place so that you can use the best applications that you have available for each specific task and yet have the comfort to know that the results can be brought together. An example is this background map being shown here, where a variety of inputs were pulled together to show the results of COVID cases across Germany by one of our partners, Conterra. Well, what are some of the things that stand in the way of digital transformation? A long time issue is this concept of data silos, that data is inside of some system or behind some interface or be in a format that prevents it from being accessed, either due to technical considerations or sometimes these are policy considerations as well. Data quality, I touched on it already. If the data is bad, then it is just very, very difficult to achieve good results. The so-called garbage in, garbage out that was invented in the 60s and 70s is still as true today as it was then. Sometimes even if you don't have data silo problems and your data is of high quality, you may just not have the tools or knowledge to pull it all together to make it happen. And so this is one thing that we hope we can help with a bit today. And then lastly, requiring people to achieve these things manually by running things repeatedly is not a formula for success. And so automation technology or the lack of it can be a big impediment. So please let us know in the Q&A panel what your biggest transformation challenges are in your organization. What do you face? What hurdles are there? And we can discuss those with you in the Q&A while the talk is going on. So who is Safe Software anyway? Well, we exist to help organizations maximize the value of their data by enabling enterprise integration. We do this through our product suite called FME, which is really an entire integration platform. It consists of a number of pieces. We have FME Desktop, FME Server, ArcGIS Data Interoperability Extension, and FME Mobile. The desktop is where you build and author and ad hoc run workflows that you get results from, but you may choose then to publish those workflows up to FME Server, where they can run automatically while you're doing something else or in response to a stimulus. The ArcGIS Data Interoperability Extension is a very full-featured version of FME Desktop that is conveniently purchased through Esri by ArcGIS users, and it runs right within ArcGIS Pro. Lastly, we have some mobile apps that let you do data integration on the go, either by running data transformations hosted on FME server or by viewing results in augmented reality. Now we're going to take a deeper look at 4 digital transformation opportunities and see how enterprise integration strategies helped achieve results for customers. The 4 are application integration, the streaming of data, digital plan submission, and 911 data validation. So with that as an introduction, I'm going to hand it off to my colleagues, starting with Sienna. Take it away.
Now let's talk about application integration, as it allows us to overcome the data challenges that Dale previously mentioned. Application integration uses APIs to communicate at the transaction level. It also uses event-based triggers or schedules to inspire the application itself or another application to take action. Application integration allows for 2 or more disparate applications to directly interact with each other without the need for human interaction. This saves time and reduces the amount of human interaction needed for data to get from one application to another. So let's take a look at an example. You may be aware of Survey 123, which is an Esri application that you can use to create surveys and share them out widely. In this case, we're using a Survey 123 survey to submit a tree hazard report. So this would be done by a citizen. From there, we want to get the data out of the Esri universe and send it to other applications. In our case, it's CityWorks, which is an asset management tool, and Click, which is a BI tool. Let's take a look at the more technical component of this. How would this work? So Survey 123 has the ability to use webhooks to send data directly to FME server. FME server can then take that data and transform it into any way you like. For example, here we have a workspace that creates an inspection report in CityWorks. This is done using an API request. At the same time, we have the workspace also create a CSV. This CSV is then uploaded automatically to Dropbox. Click knows to look for this CSV file, and it's going to use a Click sync task on a schedule to see if the data has been updated. At the same time, we can send an email off to important stakeholders as well. Let's take a look at what this will actually look like. First, I'm going to go to Survey 123 and check out the survey I created. Now, as a citizen, I'm going to go set a date here and set a tree location that I believe is a hazard. From here, I'm just going to click submit, and then my survey should be sent off. I can go and check my email now to see if my data has been processed. So if I click on my email, I can see, yes, my data has been processed, and I do have an inspection ID from CityWorks. As you can see here, it's quite hard to copy and paste this number, but I can do it. From here, I'll hop over to CityWorks and click paste and just see if my inspection report has been created. And it looks like it has. I can also check Click and make sure that my Click has been updated. So this is using a schedule, so it's not immediate, but if you look in the top right-hand corner, you should see 11 inspections per month. Shortly, we'll see this switch to 12 inspections per month as well. A new record will come into the table down below. The reason why it's slower is it's just a sync task, so it's on a schedule. So what does this look like in real life? Our business partner Spatial DNA, based in Ontario, has been working with the Township of Langley to enable bidirectional exchange of data across systems. They've created a workflow that dramatically reduces the need for manual data entry as their staff work to coordinate garbage and compost cart exchanges. What used to be several hundred tasks a week is now reduced to about 3. They did this by using FME as a message broker to integrate Microsoft Dynamics CRM as their call center, billing, which is Tempest, and address validation, which is Esri, and the third-party management platform for their contractor, who performs the delivery of their garbage and compost carts. By enabling the systems to exchange data, the need for a human is eliminated. The city staff can now accomplish far more. Another example is from the city of Surrey. So typically, whenever a developer needs to have a water meter installed, they'd replace the request for a permit in the tool called Amanda. Previously, the city relied on complex database integrations, manual workflows, and nightly data synchronization tasks to move all this data around. Instead, they wanted to automate the communication between systems, including CityWorks for asset management, Amanda for permitting, and Esri GIS. They're able to accomplish this by building real-time API-driven workflows that integrate the data between these applications. So let's take a look at another application of data transformation, and this will be using real-time sensor data. So cities might spend a lot of money collecting sensor data, but they may not know how to use it. They could need a reliable way to transfer the data to a visual display such as Esri, and they also may need immediate alerts if levels are too high. You can do this all using FME. Here we have a real-time flood warning system. So FME server is going to sit and wait for new data to come in from a sensor. And then FME can automatically push this data to ArcGIS Online where it's displayed on a dashboard. And then an email will be sent out if levels are too high. So here's what it looks like from a technical perspective. Here we have an IoT sensor that's going to send data directly to FME server. Here we're using WebSockets, but there's lots of sensors we could potentially work with and lots of streaming applications. So just let us know if you don't see one that you're interested in. From there, we're going to write out the data to ArcGIS Online once per minute and also send an email if levels are too high and someone needs to be alerted. So here's what it looks like on a live dashboard. I should mention that all this data is from the USGS, but obviously we modified it to make a more dramatic dashboard. But this is what it looks like. So once per minute, this data is going to be updated behind the scenes, and then ArcGIS Online will take that data and transform it to this dashboard. Finally, I should mention the Iowa DOT. So they wanted to use their sensors from their snow plows and push it up to a web map so everyone was aware. So IoT is providing road condition information by retrieving data from sensors all over the states, integrating them, and delivering the data to the public in an easy-to-consume way. This web map is used by a local news station who uses a live map from Iowa DOT to inform the public about snowplow locations.
Thanks, Sienna. Now for the digital plan submission. So let's say you have a lot of incoming data from disparate sources and coordinate systems that you or your department are responsible for keeping up to date in your GIS. So it's not ideal to have to spend time to chase after data sources or even to clean up the data for your workflows yourselves. Instead, a digital plan submission can be used to check submissions before uploading the data into ArcGIS Online. The advantage of using a digital plan submission is to automate the validation process and to ensure that you get everything you need from the submitter at the time of submission and in the correct format. In this way, you can get rid of the manual steps and streamline your process of keeping your data up to date and ready for use. For the end user, it's as simple as 2 steps. The submitter can submit their plan to an FME server app through a web page form, and FME will validate the plan against a set of criteria that the workspace author has created. Step 2 is the result. If the plan submission is valid, it can automatically be optimized and uploaded to ArcGIS Online, and then let the submitter know that the submission was successful. Otherwise, FME can report back to the user what went wrong and what needs to be corrected before attempting to submit again. So what does it look like? We'll head over to FME's Gallery app to begin step 1 of uploading our plan submission to validate the file. Here we are in FME server, and this is where I can manage my FME Gallery apps. Here I've got my digital plan submission portal, and I can just select this link to go to my Gallery app. My Gallery app consists of a few icons, which can take me to FME server apps that run workspaces or to other external links. Up top here, I can share this URL either internally with colleagues or externally with the public and set finer-tuned permissions for who can access this Gallery app. I'll go ahead and select the Development Permit Server app. And here's my form submission, where I can enter in some information like my name, contact information, and project address to submit my plan. I've already got this information loaded in another tab, so I'll go ahead and drag and drop my AutoCAD DWG file from my local file explorer. This then runs a workspace in the background that checks this file against a set of criteria that we've built into the workspace, and it returns me a report about whether my submission was successful or not. In this case, my file failed to meet the standards I've set. On the left, you can see the layers I've got present in my submission against a table on the right of the layers that were expected to be input. Further down, I have more information about what needs to be fixed and where it can be found. For this particular file, I've got some layers with unexpected geometry types, and below it, I can get a visual snapshot of where the problem features are. Let's head back into the FME Server app and see what happens on a successful submission with another file. And here, I just wanted to demonstrate another method of grabbing the file, and I've just selected the Upload File button, but there's also a Browse Resources folder to select from your repository. This time, we're going to upload the file. And this time, my file is successful, and my plan submission is further optimized for GIS and sent straight into ArcGIS Online. You can see the report is populated with some of the information I had initially provided, such as the contact information, and I also included a reference number as well as some potential next steps for the submitter. In ArcGIS Online, I can then check out my new submission. In this case, these are some parcels I've added to the Township of Langley. And the new additions are just up top here. Now, whoever needs to check this can access it in ArcGIS Online without ever having to open the original DWG file. This is the workspace that powers the FME Server app that you saw in action. This workspace is available for download in our safe.com/webinars under How to Automate CAD and GIS Integration. In this demo, we wrote to ArcGIS Online, but it's up to you where you need to bring your data to, whether it's a geodatabase, ArcGIS Online, portal, or other format or service. For a real-world example, the City of Henderson is one real-world example where they partnered with Concertec to simplify and automate CAD to GIS conversion as part of their digital plan submission process for new construction projects. Their biggest challenge was time spent on manual data entry and processing, duplicate work, and the risk of errors. Through one automated workflow, FME delivered a reduction in data integration time by 75%. FME helped the city improve operational efficiencies, save time, and ensured CAD data validation before converting to GIS, while preserving the integrity of the source data. With that, I'll pass it off to Christian, who will cover our next scenario on address validation.
Thanks, Jovita. Next, we're going to look at 911 address validation. Improving operational efficiency is one of the key business goals for governments. Some of the challenges include organizational structures, traditional manual processes, data silos, and limited resources. From maintaining databases to reporting and responding to service requests, government operations often include too many regular, manual, and repetitive tasks, all of which can be eliminated by connecting data across different systems and departments. There's a lot more that data integration can help you achieve. With FME's automation capabilities, you can implement standardized, efficient, and fully automated processes to tackle daily tasks and create service response agility. To maintain data integrity, you can also build rule-based workflows to run automated quality checks while reducing the amount of human errors. Another benefit FME brings is enabling staff training and knowledge transfer with no coding needed, which is extremely valuable to IT and GIS departments. So we're going to look at an automation that's going to watch a directory. So as soon as a new file is uploaded to that directory, it's going to trigger a workspace and send an email to let us know that the data has been processed. You could also have this run on a weekly, monthly, or quarterly schedule, such as Santa Clara County has done, and we'll see that a little bit later on. The end goal of this is going to have our data published all the way up to ArcGIS Online, but of course, this all starts with the source data set. In this case, we're going to be starting with a polygon feature class with 29 attributes, and we're going to be checking for any duplication. We're going to rework the schema to make sure it meets our department's requirements and ensure the data is clean before we allow it to go up to ArcGIS Online. And to do that, we built the logic into an FME workspace, using a number of transformers to perform manipulation, validation, and schema mapping, and then we published this up to FME Server and included it in automation. FME Server is going to allow this process to flow seamlessly without any human interaction, as the new file is going to trigger the workspace and push the data directly to ArcGIS Online. So as a very broad overview, the file is going to arrive from another department, or it's going to be scheduled to run this workspace on whatever frequency you deem appropriate. It's going to kick off that workspace similar to what you just saw, perform all those checks and the mappings, and make sure the data meets our requirements. Then it's going to upload them to ArcGIS Online and send us an email notification just to let us know everything's been done. So let's actually hop into FME Workbench to take a closer look at this. So you can see there's a couple of collapsed bookmarks in this workspace, and that's just for the sake of clarity. But inside those bookmarks is where all the validation, the schema mapping, and duplicate filtering is taking place. But we can confirm this by taking a closer look at the feature cache and inspecting the data to ensure all the attributes are named correctly and that our dates and values have been formatted to our requirement. Then we can write it out to the required formats using a feature writer. So in this case, we're going to write to a geodatabase, a shapefile, and CSV. And in the case of CSV, since it's not a spatially enabled format, we can first extract those lat long points and include them as attributes in the output file before we put it up to ArcGIS Online. So we're all happy with this workspace. We're going to go ahead and publish it up to FME Server, and we'll put it into an automation. That's a very simple one that'll look something like this. So it's pretty straightforward. All we need to do is watch that directory or schedule it to run, and it's going to send us an email once it's been finished. This is going to allow all your data to flow simply and seamlessly up to ArcGIS Online, and it'll be ready for consumption by either your internal consumers or the public. So this is similar to what Santa Clara County needed to do with their 911 address project. They needed to improve their 911 dispatch system and did so by integrating 15 city datasets that were QA'd and output to multiple formats. In the case of Santa Clara County, they were able to increase the number of known addresses by 50%, which resulted in improved emergency response time and location accuracy, which is critical in the event of an emergency. Back to you, Dale.
Thanks so much, Chris, Sienna, Jovita. To sum up, you hope you've seen today through these examples how digital transformation can be driven through enterprise integration, and you can get your data and your applications working together without a lot of pain. By applying these strategies, you can limit the need for manual processes. You can prioritize truth and really ensure that your data is of the highest quality. You can innovate and create data-driven solutions. And lastly, you can maximize your organization's already substantial investment in technology, all while producing great results for your clients and your organization and your customers. But don't just take our word for it. You can read Sean's quote here. He's been working with us for many, many years, and most recently has been promoted to the position of Director of IT at the City of Surrey. And the City of Surrey has used FME in a wide range of ways to really achieve digital transformation. So how would you get started? The best way is not to try to boil the ocean. Pick one area of your organization to transform digitally, and then ask yourself, how can you get the most out of what you've got going already? How can we make this process faster or less manual? What are the current limitations and pain points? And then apply this strategy and achieve a transformation, and then rinse and repeat. You can get a free trial over at safe.com/trial, and our chat is always on our website, so you can get this talking with us anytime you want. We also have a new thing that's recently been launched called the FME Academy. If you're just learning FME, you can go there and start getting into the how and the why behind FME and master it yourself in as little as 10 minutes a day. That's the pitch, and I believe it. So you can collect badges and choose your own adventure as you become a spatial data master. Thanks so much, North Carolina ArcGIS Users Group, for joining us for this talk. You can visit us at our virtual booth to connect with us at that URL right there. We'll look forward to talking with you soon.